Hey folks, Barry Blasters of the Desert. I'm here today to talk about something that is a thing that I've kind of always been into, but not really hardcore. Something that I had an interest in long before I got into guns and stuff, and purely from a utilitarian standpoint, and that is knives. Basic little pocket knives. I know, probably most of us grew up with some kind of little Swiss Army knife or Grandpa's buck knife or something like that, and it's a little knife is a tool that I've pretty much had on me every day since I was in high school, not at school, but something that I carry around. I use it for just about anything I need. Opening boxes or cutting twine, getting, into whatever I need to, cheesecake. And so it's a thing that for me, I had always been one of those guys who didn't think too much of the knife as being something that I wanted to necessarily invest a whole lot of money into. I was also a guy who was prone to losing them, and so I didn't think twice about buying, the little $10 special sale priced knife over at local big box sporting goods store, because it did what I wanted it to do, and the chances of me breaking it or losing it were pretty good. So didn't want to be out too much. I also don't know a whole lot about knives, and so as I started asking questions, and a lot of it came from working over at the shop some years ago and being a Benchmade dealer. And Benchmade knives are fantastic. They're great knives, great steel, all that stuff. But I would look at them and I would just think to myself, like, how could I justify spending 200 or 300 or 400 or who knows how much, many hundreds of dollars on a pocket knife? I just don't have the kind of requirements and the kind of needs that I thought fit into purchasing something that high dollar. And again, don't get me wrong, I understand the quality and the craftsmanship and the work that goes into making some of those knives, and I understand why they're that expensive. For me, I can't quite justify the expense to myself. I have identified, though, a couple of specific roles and requirements that I wanted from a knife, and so that's what guided me into what I wanted to actually buy. I decided I was going to spend, a little bit more money than just, $20 or $30 on little Kershaw or Emerson folders, which I still have and I still love them. Keep them sharp and they typically will work for as long as you need them to. But so I like I said, I identified a couple of roles, a couple of things that I wanted out of a knife. One of them being that I wanted a really, good hardened steel. I'm not a metallurgist, so don't ask me about what makes D2 better than whatever some of these others might happen to be, or whatever you have. I don't know. They're harder, they're sharper. I don't know. That's not what I'm here to talk about. I am here because when I started looking around and asking some other folks in the know about, like, what's a good, relatively inexpensive folder. I just wanted a small, folding pocket knife that I could carry, that I wasn't going to spend a fortune on, but that would be a better quality than what I was getting at Academy Sports or Cabela's or whatever. And so a couple of years ago, I was introduced to Skallywag, and so I got to try one of them out. I believe I had heard about them, and then finally, about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, Matt Landfair had his, and I got to kind of fiddle with it, see how it felt, and I just kind of fell in love with it. And so at the time they weren't producing a whole lot of them. I had to get on a wait list for it for a little while. Ended up getting it, and that's what I've got here. So this was the first Skallywag Tactical blade that I bought. This is the Privateer. Again, I did get on a little bit of a wait list for it. Eventually got it. I've actually been carrying it now for about 2 years. You've probably seen it in some of my videos or Instagram postings or whatever. I know I've tagged them before, so this shouldn't be a surprise. This has been probably the best little folding knife that I've ever had, and not saying that because of the fact that I did spend so much more on it than I had before. And again, it's not terribly expensive, but coming from buying $15, $20, $30 knives to deciding, yes, I'm willing to invest $125 or so. I think it was about $125 total for this knife when it came out. That's a big jump for a guy like me. But it is a very solid knife. It's metal all around. This is not, this is not G10 or whatever. I know that has become really popular, and I've got some knives like that too, and I love them. But this particular one, while it is solid, it's nice and robust. I haven't had any experiences with it, having any flex or anything, but it's not too super heavy. It's not weighing me down in my pocket. It's not a burden for me to carry this wherever I need to. A lot of times if I'm going to a place where I can't, carry a gun, or if I'm going into a place where something like a small tool is going to be more permissible than, say a larger dagger style knife, this has fit the bill really well. I like the little flippy guy on the back here. I kind of wimped that out, but it will come all the way out. It is D2 steel, and so as I was educated just a few weeks ago while sharpening it, D2 is a lot harder. It's going to hold the edge a little better, but when it does need to be sharpened, it takes a little bit longer. And shout out to Richard over at Sportsman's Elite for busting out the really fancy Spyderco knife sharpener and doing the whole thing here. I don't know, got it really nice and sharp. And so having that, once I got that, just kind of looking around Skallywag stuff, and like I said, I just kind of fell in love with what they've got. And so over the last couple of years, I've bought more and more and more. I still haven't gotten to the point where I'm spending really big money, because these knives, I think, depending on the model or the style that you decide might fit your need, they're not terribly expensive. They've got some that start around $30 that so far have proven to be pretty darn good knives. But one of them stuck out for me, and that was their razor. The razor is a pretty big knife, and I didn't think I had any kind of need for a blade like that, for a larger, heavier fixed blade. And at the particular price point, I kind of put it off for a while. And then I guess, I don't know, a year and a half ago, they had a sale, a blemish sale, which they run quite frequently actually, so be sure to check those. And I ordered myself the razor because it was the one that I had always wanted, and the pricing on it was right. I picked it up. This is, again, a fairly large fixed blade knife. Kind of got that little drop point on it there. Little grooves on the back here for getting a good little grip if you need there. It is again a D2 steel, so it's crazy sharp. I've cut all kinds of stuff with this. This I've used a lot when I go, if I'm out into the desert for a while, if I'm out camping, stuff like that. This is done really well with, cutting little brush, clearing little spaces. It's not quite, it's not a machete. This is not a big hacking tool, but it's done pretty well with that for just shaving off trees, clearing space, whatever. It's great for cutting rope, cutting twine, things like that, securing stuff. When it's not in with my my normal camping outdoorsy gear, I typically keep this in the truck because I think it's a good kind of all-purpose knife that I could use for just about anything that I might need. I can cut through just about anything with this, but it is large, and so it's not really something you might want to carry around with you every day. If you're in a position or environment or job that requires you to have kind of a larger fixed blade, maybe something like that would be good. It does come with a pretty nice sheath, scabbard, whatever you want to call it. Just basic little Kydex. Fits in there, got a good positive click. I've got it on a tech lock here. You can take this off and put soft loops or molly loops, whatever you want to do, however you decide that you might want to carry such a thing. Again, this was sort of the fancy, my splurge, and so having those two, that really fit the two roles that I wanted from a knife. One being a small folder that I can carry around with me every day, and then one larger one that I can use for outdoorsy, camping, all-purpose, whatever stuff. And after that, I just sort of started eyeing their other offerings, and they've got all kinds of stuff. They've got fixed blades. They've got a couple of different models of folding blades in the different steels, different grip types. They have, the privateer that's an all metal body. They have this more recent one that I actually just got. This is the Jolly Roger. So this is a rubberized, I don't think that's a G10. I'd have to check, but a little more grippy. So if you're in a position, situation where maybe you're gonna be wet, for example, and you want something that's got a little bit more grip, the Privateer is nice and slick pretty much all the way around. So if you're worried about oils or whatever that might make it a little tougher to hold, something like the Jolly Roger here, which even though it's not a terribly small package, it is just a little bit larger than the Privateer overall. The blade itself is quite robust. That is a pretty big, solid knife. This is a 420 stainless steel blade. So this is not the same G2 steel that you'd find on the Privateer. It is marked right there, 420 stainless. It is pretty sharp. Like I said, I just got this one, so I haven't used it too much. I'll probably take it and do a little finer sharpening on it. But clip right there, of course, pocket, belt, whatever. I like that this is again, still a nice, thick, robust blade. It's got a little groove cut out in it there. I love that they put their logo on all of them. I just think it's cool. So again, this is one that I've just picked up. This is probably going to be something that might take the place of the Razor in my truck, because again, it's something that's, if I'm working on the truck or if I'm out, I might have greasy hands or oily hands or might have gloves on, this is something that's very easy to use, get a good solid grip on it, but without being bulky. And it does pack up a little bit nicer than the razor, obviously just from the virtue of being a folder. So again, that's the Jolly Roger, and I really like that one. About a year ago, maybe a little bit more than that, Skallywag came out with a couple of much smaller blades. And if you go and look now, they have even smaller ones that are, they fit a very particular need for people. I think that because of the size and the compactness, I think they'll be very popular for more, non-permissive environments, places where if you've got, the belt, the knife clipped on your belt or whatever, it might be a little, draw a little more attention to you than you want. But got a little push dagger, a very small little fixed blade knife that I actually really like, and I just need to order up one of each because my collection will not be complete until I have those and the kitchen knives, but that's a different thing. So, like I said, some time ago they came out with the slightly smaller versions. One of them is a little Karambit knife, and this actually comes on a little lanyard there. You can wear it around your neck. You can put this on something else. Just a very basic little Kydex sheath for it. Simple, there's nothing on that grip there. It's on the tang. See, I know knife words. But a pretty good little blade. This is a, again, Karambit style. So it's got the little hook on it there. You want to wear this as, keep it like a seatbelt cutter kind of thing. They have a different one that does that too. But I like this one. It's very nice and small. I like this kind of, stonewashed finish, if you will. Just sort of raw steel, again, with the logo on it. Let's see. This is the 440 stainless steel. Solid, just one piece. Crazy sharp again. A good handy little thing to have. I actually really like it. I think what I'd like is a slightly different cover, sheath, scabbard, whatever you want to call it. Something that I could, put on a belt and carry this, across with sort of more low profile on the belt as opposed to having to wear this around my neck, because I don't know. It's just what I want. I also recently just got another privateer, and this is the blue one. Again, I got this from the blemish sale that was going on recently. Might still be going on, so you might want to check that. The blue, really pretty. I like it, and I didn't need another privateer. But about 2 weeks ago, opening up packaging to wrap Christmas presents, my son was using my privateer to open some boxes, and he said, "That's a really nice knife. I really like that." So I grabbed a second one, and I don't know, maybe at some point this becomes a Christmas or birthday gift for him. I'm generous. And speaking of that, and of the slightly smaller blades that they also have this little guy, which is called, this is the Mini Jack. And so this is it's sort of like the privateer in that it is a small folder, all metal, all whatever steel, got the little clip on the back there. Privateer flips like that. This guy flips like that. This has actually does have a little assisted opening. So when you close it, it's got a little tension there. And then you just push it down on the back and it pops right open, which is awesome. This is really nice if you just want sort of the functionality of the privateer, but in a little bit smaller package. It does fold up. It's, is this the D2? I don't know. This one's actually not marked, so I'd have to go back and check which steel this is. But it does, you know, again, still have the logo on it. Solid body. I had it engraved because let's see if I have the other here. I got a couple of these. These are going to be the matching father and son knives. So when he's a little bit older, again, my son will get one of these and we'll have our own little matching knives. I've said it before in pretty much every video that I've done. Thanks and shout out to Cerakote Southwest for doing the engraving for me there. Much appreciated. So that's Skallywag. Like I said, the pricing, depending on what kind of blade you want to look at, starts anywhere from about $30. I think the Jolly Roger is on sale right now for like $32, which is a hell of a deal. Even though I haven't used it much, just knowing the quality of the other blades that I've got from Skallywag, I know that this is going to be probably the best $30-ish knife that I can find. Those little mini jack, which I love, again, they're out of stock. I don't know if they're producing them or gonna be producing them again. I had asked and they mentioned watching for some to keep an eye out for it, and some other offerings that were fairly similar. So some of those other smaller knives, but that one, $25, something like that. So anywhere from $20 up to 100 or so for the folders. Some of the fixed blades are going to start a little north of there, going up to, you know, into a couple $100 for if you want. They have different daggers, serrated. They have a fixed blade called the Guardian, which is a, you know, sort of triangular. You can get that with a nice little trainer too, so that if you want to practice, if you're doing, you know, knife fighting skills, whatever, they have a little trainer that you can use, so it's not quite so dangerous. They've got dive tools. They've got very large blades. So I mentioned like the razor isn't quite, you know, a big hacking tool. So they've got a couple of big ones. The Bounty is a big one, and then the Gunner's Mate, I think, is the other great big one. Those are big hacking tools. Those are what you want if you're going to be in dense vegetation or situations like that where you need a larger, heavier blade to just kind of punch your way through some stuff. And then, of course, I mentioned the kitchen knives, because they do have make kitchen knives that are on my list. They, I think, sell them. Typically, it's the individual ones. So there's a slicing blade, kind of like a fillet, a chopping knife, etc. I think 4 or 5 different styles. They sell, I want to say, about $75 each. You can get them as a full set and save a little bit of money if you wanted to do that. That's kind of what I plan to do. They also have a board, a big magnetic board that you can put them all up, kind of display them. It's got their logo on it. I'll probably get it because I think it's cool. Again, I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. And then steak knives. I mean, if I'm going to buy kitchen knives, I'm going to have to buy the steak knives too. So I'll do that at some point. But for now, again, Skallywag Tactical. I mean, even look at their packaging. This is what the razor came in. It's got a Velcro enclosure. The knife comes in there. You know, I got the privateer comes in similar, you know, just a smaller case. I mean, that's tough to beat. The lower cost ones just come in a pretty basic little box, but I still like them. So whatever. So again, that's Skallywag Tactical. If you're looking for a pretty darn good knife, set of knives, something like just a little basic pocket folder. Don't want to spend a fortune. I absolutely recommend that you check them out. Give them a look. I'll drop a link to their site in the description here. They run sales all the time. Their sales are fantastic. You can get wholesale pricing. They do blemish sales. And I'll tell you, again, like I said, that razor I bought is a blemish, and I don't know what the heck the blemish is because I could not find a darn thing wrong with it. This new Privateer also was purchased as a blemish, and I don't know, again, I don't see anything on there that's blemished, and I don't know if maybe it's just that this finish is, I don't know, it cleans up a little, whatever. But whatever their definition of blemish is, they're very, I don't know, they overestimate blemishes because I can't find a darn thing wrong with any of these. So again, looking for a good blade, not spending a whole lot of money, Skallywag Tactical is definitely worth checking out. Go and see them, order up a bunch of stuff. As always, I want to point out again that I purchased all of these on my own. This is all my hard-earned money spent. None of these were sent to me. None of these are free. I just really like them. And I think that you probably will too. So, if you want to, go check them out. Thanks a lot to Skallywag for making good knives. Peace.